confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria.
The All Progressives Congress (APC) concluded its 2026 primary elections across the 8,800 country. The climax was the party's direct presidential primary election to choose between the sitting president, Bola Tinubu, and his only challenger for the party's ticket, Stanley Osifo. In Lagos, President Tinubu and First Lady Oluremi joined other party members of their new ward, Ward L2, Ikoyi, and participated in the process. It was a new experience for the party men and women here and an addition to the status of the ward.
This is an August visitor because this is the first time he's coming to be with us in our ward. Now he wants to come and join forces with the wife to make this in one. So that is why we really appreciate him for coming to our ward.
Okay, why do you think it is necessary for him to recontest?
There's a saying that I can tell you before I spent 3-4 hours from Ibejuleki to come to Ikoyi. But today I left my house by 7 a.m. and I got here by 7:45 through the coastal road. And that is how many presidents have we had before his emergence? And just with this, just 4 years, I think that is enough.
He's good in organizing, he touches the poor, he touches every part of Nigeria. So I support him for his second tenure because he's a man of all.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, APC returning officer for the state, was equally on ground at the word to see the process to its conclusion. The result in the end could easily be imagined.
We announced that with a total number of votes of 4,966, we declare Bola Ahmed Tinubu the winner of Ward L2, Ikoyi Obalende LCDA.
The ward process was concluded, but the ultimate result was to be announced at the National Collation Center in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu assessed the party's primaries nationwide, the first to be so conducted under his watch as the president.
Demonstration of internal democracy, and it has been going very well according to plan. This is politics, grassroots politics, where every member of the party has a right to participate and be involved. It's to ensure that we have an internal democracy and it's peaceful and well organized.
Your Excellency, you gave the state governors the permission to go ahead and organize an acceptable primaries across the country. Are you satisfied with the process so far?
So today, I am very satisfied, very, very satisfied that these governors, they've done well in their various states. To fact, from the world congresses to local government congresses to the delegate accreditation, validation, members register, and certification of the electoral process. It has been on very well. At least you will score democracy at a high level.
These people are showing massive support for you, Mr. President. What do you say to them?
I'm just excited. They challenge me more. Thank you.
Attention shifted to the nation's capital as the president headed for the National Collation Center. President Tinubu, in company of First Lady Oluremi, arrived at the International Conference Center named after him in Abuja. Although party members across the country participated in the decision-taking, however, only a controlled crowd of bigwigs and followers witnessed the announcements under this roof.
Ensuring that also have a transparent system and give the world what's happening in APC and our government and what we're doing to ensure that we deepen internal democracy within our party.
After the exercise nationwide, the announcement of the National Collation Center was easy for the National Returning Officer, Pius Ayim Pius.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR received a total number of 10,999,162 votes. Mr. Stanley Osipo received a total of 16,503 votes. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, having satisfied the requirements of APC Constitution and guidelines and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner of the primary election. And is returned elected, nominated as the party's presidential candidate.
And for the second consecutive time, Bola Tinubu gets the instruments to represent the ruling party in the coming general elections. Looking back at his 3 years in office, President Tinubu recounted his various social and economic reforms, including the popular subsidy removal, harmonization of exchange rates, and the new tax regime.
Today we are witnessing a great turnaround. The Naira is strengthening, foreign reserves are rising, and our economic outlook is positive, despite the inflationary disruption caused by war in Iran and geographical crisis in Middle East. We have established the Nigerian Education Loan Fund with over 282 billion disbursed and over 1.5 million beneficiaries in school.
Now, with his administration's investments so far in education, healthcare delivery, agriculture, power and infrastructure development, among other sectors, the president says the country is in a better stead for great future prosperity.
We have strengthened macroeconomic stability through improved revenue. Performance is high, financial management and a better fiscal coordination is ensuring. We have prioritized infrastructure across street transportation, power, digital economy connectivity, housing, and irrigation as engine for inclusive growth. We are building concrete, durable roads and super highways along the coast. And you've seen the documentary on Sokoto Badagry Road. We expect that road to last over 100 years. By improving our airports and seaports after decades of neglect, we have reformed the oil and gas sector, and we are attracting billions of dollars in fresh investment in a sector that was almost comatose. Our social investment and human capital program targets vulnerable households, youth, women, and small businesses. At this stage, I must first thank my darling wife, standing beside me, for her effort in supporting the program of this government, rekindling, renewing, and working seriously to help the vulnerable and the infant.
While calling for the commitment of Nigerians, including those in opposition, towards the unity of the country, President Tinubu renews his pledge as he seeks to lead Nigeria for a second term.
The work we began is unfinished. With another 4 years of discipline, focus, and national cooperation, we will firmly place Nigeria on an irreversible path of economic expansion, industrialization, energy security, infrastructure development, food sovereignty, and democratic consolidation. Our mission remains clear: to build a Nigeria where every life, including property, is secure, where enterprises thrive, where workers earn with dignity.
The flag in hand, backed with a certificate, it is the official signal to the second leg of the race for President Bola Tinubu. But in this race, not just his own abilities, he needs the strength of a majority of Nigerians to win. The president returned to Lagos for the Salah break. President Bola Tinubu joined other Muslims at the Durham Barracks, Lagos, for the 2026 Eid al-Adha prayer. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his deputy Obafemi Hamzat, former Lagos State Governor Raji Fashola, the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, and other dignitaries were also at the Eid prayer. The Grand Chief Imam of Lagos State, Sheikh Suleiman Abunola, admonished the faithful to imbibe the essence of the festival, which teaches piety, obedience, and trust in God.
Neither the meat nor the blood came to Allah. Allah does not need the blood or the meat, but the blessing from you gets to Allah. So do we subject them to you, that you may glorify Allah for that to which He has guided you.
Another Ikabi. We thank His mercy, and we must learn from the lessons of this season. And is showing love to one another, no discrimination, no ethnicity, no hatred, and we should share love, be generous to one another. In the way we reflect the value of our country and the humanity in us. It is essential that we be very tolerant, be obedient to the wish of Allah, and obedient to the rule of law, which must guide our society.
The president also advised Nigerians against the violent ideologies of enemies of states.
Nowhere in the holy teaching that you should engage in banditry. Nowhere that you should kill another human being. the sacrifice we are talking about, even in the beginning of life, where we take this from, a child was replaced with animal. And that is what the value of life is all about.
Time for the traditional Salah homage on the presidents. State governors, led by the Nigeria Governors Forum chairman and Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, were part of the special visitors of the presidents. Vice President Kashim Shettima was equally present. Different times for different stories.
Trying to become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it was very, very challenging. It was tough for those who are in the party with me.
It felt like an appropriate time for some revelations. Winning the election against the odds, the astute politician revealed his decision on his joker before the election. Some manifested on day one in office with a proclamation of subsidy removal. That and other transformative reforms came with hard times for Nigerians. But the man at the helms of affairs certainly felt part of it on his seat.
Instead of dodging the bullets, I took it. I took the punch in the chin. Very hard one.
3 years down the lane, local and international observers have adjudged the reforms as working. The president equally feels relieved, saying that Nigeria has survived with positive economic indices, while sectors such as education, agriculture, and infrastructures are growing.
The Sokoto Badagry, imagine how many dams on that corridor for irrigation, for farming land, for electricity. You persuaded our people to be patient, to endure these 3 years of painful reform, where we put the economy on reset. Today, the benefits is showing. Economic has recovered.
Your Excellency,
Vice President Kashim Shettima, who is the chairman of the National Economic Council, and the governors commended the president for leading the country with courage and capacity.
What you have done is not simply to administer a government. You have begun the difficult work of re-engineering a nation. You are reminded as the reform. It's not a banquet. It is a battlefield. It is not a picnic for the faint-hearted. It is a covenant with the future.
You've shown the leadership and we're following you through. We'll continue to follow you as you go along, and we pray to God to give you the strength and wisdom to continue to lead Nigeria in the forthright manner which you have been doing.
And we are here to defend your policies, to preach your message, and to let Nigerians know that we have come out from darkness, and then the right light is now ready to shine.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, also led principal officers of the Senate to the president at his Lagos residence. The Senate leadership took time to praise the reforms of the current administration. They appreciated the president for his reforms, which they said has placed Nigeria on a trajectory of growth after the removal of subsidy, floating of naira, and ending queues at filling stations across the country, among other achievements.
I think he has done excellently well, but we are saying that a lot still needs to be done, and we assured him of the cooperation of the lawmakers in Nigeria, particularly the National Assembly, in his reform agenda, and that will stand by him so long as everything he proposes is positive for the future growth of this country.
The chairman of the National Assembly promises continuous support of his colleagues to sustain momentum and win the war against insecurities. They believe creation of state police is the way out.
And we are looking at ways of creating a positive and not a negative state police, and something that can have a national state police commission that will regulate the conduct of state policing and also promotion, training and all. So we will do our best to assist him in that direction. And sensitization also. The citizens also need to know that they have to watch out for bad acts in their societies, because they all know it's a very unfortunate situation, but we do know that the president is poised and the security services are poised. So that area will need serious improvement with all of us working together.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos also led his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, and all the 40 candidates for the State House of Assembly on the platform of the APC to visit the president. It was equally an opportunity to introduce the candidate to their leader. After the meeting, behind closed doors, Governor Sanwo-Olu revealed that they have been properly guided by the president on their planned campaign across the state.
They will not be taking anything for granted. We will not take anything for granted, and we want to hit the ground running. We have the data, we have the numbers, and so we've said that we're going to share so many things to them. It is a leg room, it's a leg work, and they have stakeholders they're going to work with, several hundreds of councillors, several hundreds of party, executive at the ward and at the local government level, several, leaders at various. So everything is cut out for them. But the bottom line is they're giving assurance to Mr. President, and they're all encouraged, they're all, motivated, they're all galvanized enough to go out there, and sell the party and sell it very well.
The president earlier received the state Senate and House of Representatives candidates in the coming elections on similar visits. Similarly, APC stakeholders from Oyo State also visited the president to introduce the party's governorship candidate, Sharafuddin Ali, as well as candidates for National Assembly seats from the state in the coming general elections. After the meeting, the Oyo State gubernatorial candidate told State House correspondents that the chances are high for the APC in Oyo State, despite coming from the opposition in the state.
I am banking on my integrity, I am competent, I have the capacity, and I'm well experienced to ensure that we win the next election. And with the area of leaders that we have, you can see some of them here. Senators, former deputy governors, and we still have a lot at home. We are sure that by the grace of God, we're going to win.
In the primaries, you consulted with a lot of aspirants, definitely.
Yes, certainly.
And some of them are not happy. What efforts are you making?
Well, efforts are in top gear to get everybody on board. As a matter of fact, before even the primaries, I've started going around to see all of them because I knew I was the leading candidate. So I've been going around to appeal to all of them that we should all work together. And they have all assured me that after the primaries, if I emerge, they will. And having emerged, our leaders have commenced the process of reconciliation.
confidence is there.